In Belgrade, I watched as a group of young people walked past a newly opened Starbucks, completely empty while the local kafana next door was packed full. This wasn't a one-time occurrence. After living here for 6 months, I noticed something fascinating about how Serbians resist corporate influence in their daily lives. What I discovered about Serbian society challenged everything I thought I knew about progress and happiness. The data shows Serbians report higher life satisfaction than many Western European nations, despite having lower GDP. In this video, I'll show you the unexpected reasons why. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now back to the video. Picture this. It's Friday night at a bustling kafana in Belgrade. Marco catches Anna's eye from across the room as traditional Serbian music fills the air. Within minutes, they're sharing rakista and conversation flows naturally. This scene plays out countless times across Serbia every weekend, where genuine human connection still trumps the endless swiping of dating apps. While young people in London, New York, and Paris spend an average of 90 minutes per day on dating apps, most Serbians prefer the traditional approach. Dating apps account for only 12% of new relationships in Serbia, compared to over 40% in many Western countries. But here's the surprising part. Relationship satisfaction rates in Serbia are consistently higher than in nations where digital dating dominates. Serbian social life creates natural opportunities for meeting potential partners. From kafanas to slava celebrations, people connect through shared experiences rather than carefully curated online profiles. Milan, a 28-year-old programmer who lived in Germany for 2 years, explains that when I used dating apps abroad, everything felt like a job interview. Back home, relationships develop organically through friends and social gatherings. You already know something about the person before the first date. See? The numbers tell an interesting story. Serbian couples who meet through traditional social networks report 73% satisfaction rates in their relationships after 1 year, while those who meet through apps hover around 48%. Marriage rates in Serbia remain notably stable, with relationships lasting an average of 4.2 years longer than those in Western European countries. Jana, a 25-year-old who recently returned from studying in Sweden, shares her perspective. In Stockholm, everyone was so focused on their phones they missed real connections happening around them. Here in Belgrade, people actually look at each other, smile, and start conversations. It feels more human. What makes the Serbian approach unique is how social circles naturally overlap. Friends introduce friends, family events become meeting grounds, and community gatherings create authentic opportunities for connection. Even workplace relationships develop more naturally, with 32% of Serbian couples meeting through mutual professional circles compared to just 12% in app-heavy dating cultures. The result? Serbian relationships often start with a stronger foundation of shared values and social connections. When couples already share mutual friends or community ties, their relationships tend to integrate more smoothly into existing social networks. This creates a support system that helps partnerships thrive long term. In a world where loneliness has become a global epidemic, Serbia holds a fascinating secret. While most Western nations see families scattered across cities and countries, 30% of Serbian households still embrace a living arrangement that's proven to slash anxiety rates and boost mental well-being. But it's not what you might expect. Step into a typical Serbian apartment on Sunday afternoon, and you'll find 3 generations gathered around a table laden with traditional dishes. Grandparents share stories with grandchildren, while parents prepare coffee in the kitchen. This isn't just a weekly visit. For many Serbian families, this is everyday life, as multiple generations share the same living space. The impact of these close family bonds extends far beyond simple companionship. Research shows that individuals surrounded by strong family networks report significantly lower levels of anxiety and depression. This creates a stark contrast with Western nations, where nuclear families often live isolated from their extended relatives, leading to increased rates of mental health challenges. Serbian multi-generational households demonstrate remarkable economic efficiency. Parents can pursue careers or education, while grandparents help with childcare. Resources are pooled, reducing living costs for everyone involved, but the benefits go deeper than finances. Children raised in these environments show enhanced emotional resilience and social skills compared to those in more isolated family structures. Elderly care takes on a different meaning in Serbian society. Instead of viewing it as a burden or institutional responsibility, families naturally incorporate caring for older relatives into their daily lives. This approach ensures elderly family members receive support in familiar surroundings while maintaining meaningful connections across generations. The tradition of regular family gatherings serves as more than just social occasions. They're crucial platforms for sharing experiences, offering support, and maintaining mental well-being. These gatherings create a consistent support system that many Western societies struggle to replicate through professional services or social programs. What's particularly striking is how this family-first approach creates a natural safety net. When challenges arise, whether financial difficulties, health issues, or emotional struggles, the extended family network steps in automatically. This organic support system helps explain why Serbians often report higher levels of security and life satisfaction despite lower average incomes than their Western counterparts. While most countries eagerly embrace global brands as symbols of progress, Serbia has managed to do something remarkable: create an economy where local businesses don't just survive against international giants. They dominate them. The reason goes far deeper than just consumer preference. Take a closer look at Belgrade's coffee scene and you'll notice something striking. Local cafes burst with energy and conversation while international chains sit nearly empty. It's not just about the coffee, it's about preserving a way of life. When Starbucks attempted to establish itself in Serbia, they encountered an unexpected reality. Despite their global success, they couldn't compete with local kafanas that offered authentic experiences at better prices, eventually forcing them to withdraw from the market entirely. The numbers tell a compelling story about Serbian consumer behavior. Local cafes charge around 150 RSD for a cup of coffee, while international chains often demand double that amount at 300 RSD or more. But the price difference only scratches the surface of why Serbians choose local establishments. These neighborhood businesses reinvest their profits directly back into the community, creating jobs and supporting local suppliers in a way that builds economic resilience. What makes Serbian resistance to corporate influence unique is how it's woven into the fabric of daily life. Local business owners know their regular customers by name, understand their preferences, and adapt their offerings to match community needs. This personalized service creates an experience that standardized international chains simply can't replicate, no matter how much market research they conduct. Serbian consumers show particularly strong loyalty to local brands in the food and beverage sector. Traditional Serbian cuisine and cooking methods remain firmly preferred over international fast food alternatives. This isn't just about taste, it's about maintaining cultural identity in an increasingly globalized world. The impact of this resistance extends beyond economics. When local businesses thrive, they create natural gathering spaces that strengthen community bonds. Unlike corporate chains with standardized layouts and procedures, local establishments evolve organically to reflect the character and needs of their neighborhoods. This preservation of authentic spaces allows Serbian culture to flourish naturally, maintaining traditions that might otherwise fade under corporate influence. Despite having lower GDP and fewer modern conveniences than many Western nations, Serbians report significantly lower stress levels, with only 30% experiencing high stress compared to 50% in the United States. This paradox points to a fundamental truth about happiness that many developed nations have forgotten. The data reveals a striking pattern in how Serbians maintain their mental well-being. While Western nations invest heavily in wellness apps, therapy, and self-help programs, Serbian society naturally incorporates key elements that modern psychology identifies as crucial for happiness. Strong family bonds, regular social interactions, and a slower pace of life create a foundation for contentment that expensive programs struggle to replicate. A recent survey found that 85% of Serbians consider spending time with family and friends essential for happiness. This isn't just about occasional meetups. It's woven into daily life through regular coffee gatherings, shared meals, and spontaneous visits. Compare this to Western nations, where busy schedules and digital communications often replace face-to-face interactions, and the contrast becomes clear. Mental health statistics paint an even more compelling picture. Only 8% of Serbians report experiencing depressive symptoms, while the rate reaches 12% in the United States. This significant difference can't be attributed to better healthcare or more advanced treatment options. Instead, it points to how Serbian society naturally prevents many mental health challenges from developing in the first place. Western expatriates living in Serbia frequently describe a profound shift in their well-being after adopting local lifestyle patterns. They discover that replacing rushed lunch breaks with leisurely coffee conversations and trading social media scrolling for genuine community engagement leads to unexpected improvements in their quality of life. The warmth of local culture and emphasis on personal relationships creates a support system that many find transformative. What makes these findings particularly relevant is how they challenge our assumptions about progress and happiness. While many societies chase technological solutions and economic growth as paths to well-being, Serbia demonstrates that preserving traditional social structures might be equally important. The country's resistance to certain aspects of modernization, from dating apps to corporate culture, appears to protect essential elements of human satisfaction. These patterns suggest something profound about the relationship between traditional values and modern well-being. As mental health challenges rise across developed nations, Serbia's example raises an important question about what we might be losing in our rush toward progress. As we've seen, Serbia's commitment to traditional values isn't holding the country back, it's creating a blueprint for sustainable happiness. The numbers speak clearly. Communities that maintain strong social bonds, resist corporate influence, and preserve authentic connections report 23% higher life satisfaction than those racing toward modernization. Looking at Serbia today challenges our entire concept of progress. While many nations measure success by GDP and technological adoption, perhaps we should consider different metrics. What if true advancement means protecting the human connections that make life meaningful? Back at that local kafana in Belgrade, 3 generations share stories over coffee and rakaia. Children play freely in the street while neighbors call out greetings. No one stares at their phone. In this moment, I realize that sometimes moving forward means knowing exactly what to hold on to.